Hey, what's going on everybody? And I am truly excited to bring you this LEGO Bionicle 2015 reboot set. This is the Mask Maker versus Skull Grinder, who is also known as Kulta, for those of you who don't know his name. So this is the big set, the big final battle set of the 2015 reboot. We've got two things in the set. We got Ekimu himself, the Mask Maker, and we got Kulta, the Skull Grinder. So this is one of the sets I have been looking forward to building for a very long time. I'm so excited to see what's there, and most importantly, this set has the all-important Mask of Creation. It has, you know, the all-powerful mask that has been basically the one thing the bad guys were always after, that everyone's been fighting for, and it's Ekimu's mask. So we get Ekimu himself, and we get this super amazing mask finally in physical LEGO form. And this set, of course, because it is two figures, they've included this as a whole giant box. It's not what you normally get as your single box, you know, for the other sets. This one is a big box, and it's meant for these two guys. So this is set 70795 of 171 pieces, and here's the back of the box, just showing you off some of the play features it has. Unfortunately, because this is a third-party seller that I bought this set off, it's kind of scraped. You know, the quality isn't all that great, and this entire piece is missing. But you know what? What's important is not the box itself, it is what is within the box. And so let us start off this super exciting set by cutting open this box. Oh, I'm already seeing some goodies. I'm already seeing some amazing goodies in here. Alright, first and foremost, we got two bags. Oh, I see that Mask of Creation. More bags and a book. Is that everything? I am pretty sure that's everything. Alright. This is a very exciting set, and I really am really looking forward to bring you this one. And it's just a fun fact. Let me just get it from the back. This isn't the first Ekimu mask I've received, and I've actually received I have another Ekimu mask. So this is Ekimu's standard mask, and this is not part of this set. I've gotten this some time ago, and I forgot where, but I somehow managed to get it. But the actual helmet in this set is somewhere here. You know what? I'll find that mask. I'll dig it out when I open these bags. So let us first look at the instructions. Ooh, this is new. This is Tahu. Wait, this is Tahu and Ekimu fighting the Skull Grinder. That's special. Okay, I didn't see that coming. And then here we've got all the other stuff. We got the big set here. We got Skull Slicer, Skull Basher, Skull Scorpio, and Skull Warrior with all the other corrupted masks. Unfortunately, oh my goodness, this instruction manual is kind of folded up. It's not in its best quality. There it is. So you can combine Skull Scorpio with Skull Grinder and Ekimu to make this humongous Skull Grinder. This is Skull Grinder on drugs, for real. Like, this is him after going for a workout. And so, I don't know, this is gonna be one heck of a figure. And there's two figures in the set, so it's for sure going to be pretty chaotic with the building. Let me just, yes, here's the comic of Skull Grinder melting the mask, and then Ekimu whacking it and then becoming it. Alright, we've wasted a lot of time looking at this. Let's let me just quickly glance through the parts. You know, the other Bionicle stuff, I skipped the parts. I just want to go over this stuff really quickly, but not in detail. So if you want to examine the parts in detail, then do so yourself, because I'm just gonna quickly open up these bags and then we're gonna get started to building. So yeah, so we got 3 bags, and which each has a lot of parts. So you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna go straight to building because this is gonna be a very long video. Let's do it. And here we are with the big bad final battle of Bionicle 2015. The Mask Maker versus the Skull Grinder, and man, it was very fun putting this set together. Like, for so many other Toa and all the other sets, this one I had the most fun with building, that is for sure. Definitely, it was really fun putting 2 figures together, one bad guy and one good guy. Now you'll notice that Skull Grinder here is almost the same size as a Toa. I guess that's what the designers are trying to base him off. The size is in terms of a Toa, and then for Ekimu, he's more based off a protector. So you've basically got a small protector dude and then a big Toa guy, if you want to look at it that way. So obviously this does include the all-important Mask of Creation, which unfortunately is surprisingly the most disappointing part of the set. Look how gravity does to this thing. Yes, the stand is included, and I gotta say it's a pretty nice stand. They made this so it makes it mimicking that the mask is almost like floating, but because of gravity and the way these masks are just loosely attached to the heads, then it would just let the mask sink to the ground like that. It'll just look down and it'll look horrible, and it's not very good for presentation, and I don't think that's good at all. Now there is a way to fix this. Number one, you can do this, but then it's going to eventually go back down. But I will show you how to fix it in a second, because I want to show you the mask itself, and then I'll put on Ekimu for y'all to see. And of course, you want to see in Skull Grinder, I'll definitely do it. So here is the Mask of Creation. The camera can focus. Oh yeah, there we go. The all-important mask, the most important mask of all in the whole Bionicle 2015 series. And this is of course Ekimu's golden mask, if you will. Look at the quality though of this mask. You've got very nice fine lining, like almost like hieroglyphics written on the horns of the mask. Almost make it look like it's got ancient writing. The face itself is very nice. I guess I don't know the point of this little hole here. I guess that's just production wise, so it was just there with when this thing was molded. But it's very well detailed. A very detailed mask. I think there's a lot of things on here that's just fantastic. If you can see very clearly, you can just see all the different textures on it, and of course nothing from the back. But yeah, this is a great mask all in all, and I'm so glad they actually included this in physical form, in Lego form, really early. Now, I know the most exciting thing is, of course, Ekimu wearing the mask. After all, this is his important mask. So we're just gonna pop off his default mask for now. So this is his default mask, which is a protector mask. Let's take that off and let's put this, and I'm very excited to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Ekimu wearing the all-important Mask of Creation. Now that looks proper, and that looks royal than anything. Now that's a great looking Ekimu. Look at that. What do you think, guys? Does that look awesome on him? That is amazing. Okay, now let's take this off him and put his default mask back on. And of course, there is one thing not everybody will want to see, but I know some people will, so I'll do it anyways, is seeing the Mask of Creation on the Skull Grinder, because he has more in it, and that's how he owned the Toa like crazy. So let's take off his normal mask, and here we go. There it is. Skull Grinder wearing the Mask of Creation. Now, of course, the color scheme is going to completely ruin the color of the mask, because his gold is just going to contrast the overall color scheme of Skull Grinder himself greatly. But yeah, there you go. You can see now this is what an evil version of the Mask of Creation and what it looks like. So you've seen that, and yeah, and of course he did wear that mask just to fight the Toa, because his whole Skull Grinder or cultist whole ambition in the first place was to destroy the Mask of Creation. That's why. So yeah, and then so now allow me to show you how to fix the problem of the mask just dangling down like this. No one likes that, right? In terms of presentation, it looks hideous. So to do that, you just gotta see these two bars here. You gotta almost like push it out a little bit, and to do that gently, you don't want to break the mask, but you want to make sure it gets pushed out a little bit, not too hard, or you're gonna just pry the whole thing off like that. Don't do that. So it's loose a little bit, right? So I think now it should be wide enough to the point where you can't even fit the mask in anymore. You just gotta push one back in. Wait, how does this work? Wait, I think you gotta do it with the mask on. There you go. Like that. You gotta push it a little bit, and then from doing that, it will create less room for the mask to, you know, waltz in. So I can literally do this, and the mask will stay in place. And the mask will be floating up like this, like it should be in the first place, because this is basically a cheat mode. You just gotta enable this to stick out a little bit, push this out a little bit, and then the mask will stay afloat. So that is how you fix that problem. And now you put the mask there, and now you can see the Mask of Creation is properly floating in the air as it should be. So there you go. That is how you fix the Mask of Creation. Now let's move the Mask of Creation away from now. I know, as awesome as it is, we have figures to look at, obviously. So let's start off by looking at Ekimu. I see in the other reviews, I see people look at Skull Grinder first, so I'm gonna change the order by looking at Ekimu first. Let's put Skull Grinder this way and focus solely on Ekimu. Now, Ekimu here, of course, he is the size of a protector, but the protectors don't have a gear action feature on the back. Ekimu does. So I would consider Ekimu a hybrid build. What does that mean, a hybrid build? So he's the size of a protector, but he's got the play feature of a Toa, what the Toa would have. So that's why I consider him a hybrid build, as in he's like a mix of both protector and Toa. So first and foremost, the overall color scheme. I love it. Transparent light blue with gold. It makes all too much sense. And of course, the mask of creation worked perfectly on him because the mask is gold and his entire color scheme is mainly gold as well. So it's fantastic, and I think he looks great for a small dude, and definitely he looks very royal and looks like he's fully armored up and ready for battle. Now, the legs, of course, are a little bit short, but that's what you get for a small sized dude like him. I appreciate the excessive use of the transparent bone pieces. These are some very, very nice pieces. They were first used on Crystal Beast, but now we got more of these. So, this is awesome. And the front, I like the chest build. It's almost got the Protector of Fire influence. And the whole body build is very nice. It covers the XT4 torso pretty nicely. Arms, short again, but gotta love the shoulder armor. The way the shoulders are covered, it's very, very well, and gives him that bulk, that's for sure. And then you've got his head. Well, this is his default mask, in case you're wondering. When he's not wearing the Mask of Creation, this is what you'll get. Now, earlier I pulled up another mask. Another Ekimu mask. Yeah, I have two of them. I don't know how, but I somehow got another Ekimu mask. So this is actually my second one. But yeah, ta-da. That's just a random fact. But yeah, so when you pop this off, in case you're wondering what his head color uses, it is just a simple transparent neon green. Yeah, and of course the head is shared among all the Bionicle figures in the 2015 reboot wave. So, weapons. Number one, he's got a razor saw shield, which I think is great because it has this Disney princess piece here, which is I think used on Cinderella's horse pumpkin cart thingy. I don't remember, but I don't follow Disney princess, so but I know this piece is from Disney princess, and they reused it on here to make his razor saw shield look as cool as ever. That's great. I mean, they don't have to print out, they don't have to mold out new pieces. They can just use existing pieces from other themes completely different to this one and integrate it into making a thing look really cool. So they've done a particularly good job of the shield here, and of course I've been spinning it for a long time because there is a wheel at the back which you can just spin it to mimic the shield spinning. Look at that. It works out very, very well. Again, play features are very, very nice, and Ekimu actually has a lot of play features loaded on him, such as this hammer, which is his main weapon. Now this hammer is all important because this is the hammer that creates all the masks we see, all the golden masks, and Ekimu made all the masks we see and love in the Bionicle series using this hammer. However, it doesn't mean it can't be used as a weapon, obviously, and that's exactly what he did. You can use it as a weapon. And I like the simplicity of the hammer. Almost reminds me of Thor's hammer, and just the blue color scheme works very well. Again, works well with transparent blue. Overall, it's a small hammer, but it's an effective one. Now, it does have yet another play feature. What you're actually staring at is the stud shooter, the 6 bullet stud shooter. Now, I'm not going to make a mess by firing it on right now, but you'll know when you turn from the back here. You can see this part's a little loose. Once you spin it up, it will release all the studs and fire. So he can use his hammer as a ranged weapon, and so it's great. I mean, this is a multi-use hammer, and not only for close combat melee situations, but he can use it for range as well. Or, you know, I'd probably say this is a pretty good idea, but as he's like, he's hitting the armory with, like, to make a mask, you can like like shoot a stud out to make it look like the hammer is sparkling. I don't know, it's cool for not just for fighting, but I guess it's cool for like a dramatic feature as well if you're making stop motions with these guys. Now the final thing for Ekimu is obviously the action the gear action, and you can see obviously it has the knob to indicate to you, and look at the number of wheels here. It shows all the friction he's gonna get. So to do that, you'll just move his arm up. Just his one arm. This arm is on its own. The gear system will not affect his other arm. It will only affect this one, which is good because this is his hammer arm. So you can do this to mimic him hammering a mask to create it, or you know, hitting Skull Grinder with it. And yeah, so it's a simple gear feature, but not only for playability. I said this before, these new gear systems allow you to hold a pose up for Ekimu, and you can make some cool poses because of the gear system. That's because of all the friction that is built in the gears. That's what I appreciate this versus the old Bionicles, which because of gravity will just let the arms fall back down. So again, these are some, I like the gear system here. Definitely works well with Ekimu, and it all makes sense because after all, he is the mask maker, and it only makes sense that his hammer hand gets a gear function. So overall, what do I think of Ekimu? Very, very well done figure. I enjoyed Ekimu a lot, and he is a very, very cool, not even a protector or Toa, but he is technically the god of the island of Oto. So not a bad build on him at all. I really, really appreciate it, and he looks fantastic. So that is it for Ekimu. Maybe I'll just sum him up at the end of the video. But for now, we're still got one more thing. Oh yes, one more thing. If you ever lose those studs from his hammer, because you know these are very small pieces, LEGO has included an extra pair or an extra set of 7, 7 not 6, but 7 extra studs for the hammer in case you lose them. So it's nice, they've got extras ready. LEGO has come prepared knowing there's a lot of irresponsible kids out there. Okay, now for the big guy, Kulta, the Skull Grinder. Well, again, I said this earlier, Kulta is kind of based off a Toa in terms of his size, but look at the color scheme on him. It's completely different from Ekimu. Ekimu's got that gold and transparent blue going on. Kulta here's got that gunmetal gray and transparent red going on. Even the torso isn't even black. The torso here is silver as well, to really make sure his color scheme matches particularly well, and very well too in my opinion. I think they've nailed this guy very well. I mean, after all, he is technically an undead skeleton, so it only makes sense he's a little skinny. And especially with this season, they've created these new bony bone pieces to really make it look like these guys are real skeletons. And because they are undead warriors, like the lack of coverage on them, it's supposed to happen, and it makes total sense on it. So Skull Grinder here, a very well done execution, and it totally makes sense for him to be the bad guy. I mean, there's one thing missing from the 2015 reboot, is we needed a really big bad guy, a final boss for our Toa to fight. The Lord of Skull Spiders didn't really count. Skull Grinder here, Kulta, I think this is one that they've executed very well, and it's not really a big bad guy, but he's still like a direct threat, the leader of a threat, almost like the main antagonist. So legs here, he's using the beast feet, which is, I guess, is fine. But look at the leg builds here. These are some cool pieces with the armor covering them, and then the thighs here are all skeletal. That is acceptable. I think they've done an exceptionally good job of that. These legs here, very well done. They've done a very, very good job on these legs. That is for sure. The main body, you can see chest build. This is a very cool piece, almost like a rib cage, a transparent red rib cage. That's very, very nice. I like what they've done there, and that, you know, it's not that covered very well, but it works. He's undead. It's not that much of a problem. On the back here, again, not too much coverage except for this armor piece here, but hey, again, it works because he's skeletal. So everything works well. And then finally we have the head. I think the head looks pretty nice. It is the same head mold as the Skull Warrior, and I'm seeing a little bit of a Terminator reference. Doesn't that head? It kind of got that Terminator influence going on. It kind of reminds me of Terminator. It really does. I don't know. Then maybe they base it off Terminator. But apart from that, the horns, they're not like Skull Basher horns, but they're like tiny horns that still make him look pretty terrifying. I'll give you that. And yeah, pretty well done head. And even the neck bone piece here is a transparent red bone piece. So they're really going the extra mile to maintain his color scheme. Now the arms, again, because they're skeletal, they've still got this awesome shoulder coverage here. I think these shoulders are pretty well covered. They've done a pretty good job of that. And yeah, I think it's nice. So Skull Grinder has two weapons, as if one wasn't enough. He has two weapons. Numero uno. He's got just a simple sword. These are some pretty cool blades. Skull Slasher and Skull Warrior uses these blades as well. Skull Grinder just has one single one, no extra bits, no nothing, and it works as a secondary weapon because his main weapon here, the super long staff, is a giant mask stealer weapon. So I like what they've done. They've had this simple build up here, but it's got these huge blades. And the point of this weapon, it is to literally reach forward, grab someone on the mask, and yank it right off. So I guess if I can mimic using this, there you go, there you go. Here's my other Ekimu mask, and you can see he's stolen the mask, and it kind of fits right inside the blade. But it's not to the point where if you shake it so much, it's just gonna fall off. And in the box there, you can see he was using this to dunk the massive creation into the boiling lava. So a very, very cool weapon, very well designed. However, there's one problem. It's very, very heavy. It looks cool, but it's heavy. Too heavy to the point where it can't support the gears system, the gear play function on this guy. And I'll show you right now. So the gear system itself obviously is at the back, but let's move it for now. Let's spin. You can see he's got the play feature of Tahu, which moves both arms. Great, but you can see because the staff here is so heavy, I'm just gonna let go. Gravity is doing its part and letting it drop. The staff is way too heavy, and there's not enough gears going on to add the extra friction that is needed to keep the staff, to keep his weight so he can hold up the staff and not let gravity fall to like be his fall. And so this is reminding me of the old Bionicles, and the whole point of this gear system is to undo what the old Bionicle gear systems could not. And this didn't really exactly do it quite well, because look, the staff is just way too heavy and it's just falling back down. So that's kind of disappointing. But then again, at least they do have a play feature on him, and he does look great, the staff looks great, but the disappointment there is the weight of the staff is far too much for Kulta to be holding. So yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say for Skull Grinder, and this is the entire set. So it's time to wrap things up. What do I think of this giant ultimate final battle set? Well, I think for a final battle set, this is totally worth it. Like, totally worth it. You have to take a look at this set. You have to consider buying it, because this set is fantastic. It did have its ups and downs, and maybe if they added more gears for Kulta, so his super heavy staff, that looks awesome by the way, can maintain in a good posability without gravity taking over, then this set would be perfect. A perfect 10 out of 10. Now, Kolta looks awesome. Ekimu looks awesome. Both are awesome looking figures. And some people say, well, I think Skull Grinder was completely unnecessary. It should have just been Ekimu and the Mask of Creation. I somewhat agree with that, but again, this series really needed a big bad guy. So it made sense that they had a final battle situation like this. So I think this set is definitely appreciative. I have good respect for Kolta. He just looks amazing, and it's a good thing they didn't separate these two into different sets, but they put them into one set. I think in terms of value, it's great, but also in playability. You can actually act out a whole scenario here for kids who are playing with this set, and it's great because you can create a whole situation with, you know, Ekimu fighting the Mask Maker to get the Mask of Creation. I mean, Ekimu fighting Skull Grinder, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it will be more expensive for LEGO if they made a separate set for Ekimu and Kolta, just individual sets. And I think this is more like a value pack, buying both of these together into one set. So that's a good idea. That in terms of production, they have kept them all together into one single set. So this is definitely worth the bang for your buck. That's what I'd say. And let me just like rate each individual element separately before I rate this entire set as a whole set. So number 1, the Mask of Creation. It's gonna be out of 5, and I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. This looks great. I like the base. I like how they make it look like the mask is floating. The mask itself looks awesome. Now, we all know what the problem went with the stand is that it didn't do its job keeping the mask look nice in terms of presentation, and the mask just dipped. It faced down. No one liked that in terms of presentation. It wasn't that good. And if you're putting on display, what's worse than, you know, having the mask, the most important mask in the whole series, not being displayed properly? So, yes, but apart from that, it's a great mask, good piece to collect. Now, Ekimu. Ekimu deserves a perfect 10 out of 10. Everything about Ekimu, you know, the all-important creator of the island of Oto and all the golden masks, it's great. I like his 3 play features that were included and with him. His overall color scheme is great. He has a great gold, transparent blue color scheme. His gear system is awesome. His hammer looks great, and the shield looks great. So everything about Ekimu looks fantastic. So, perfect 10 out of 10. Now, Kolta, the Skull Grinder. He looks great. Good villain, good big villain. He looks awesome with his color scheme and his overall undead look, but still a tough opponent to face. That looks great. His staff looks great, and his sword, kind of a secondary weapon on the side, but plain simple, at least he has a secondary weapon. But where it really fell was the weight of the staff and the lack of gears needed to maintain a good strong friction for Kolta to lift his staff up. I know people have figured out a way to fix it, but in this case, yeah. And if you're looking at it at a default, not default, but like it's just a normal style way, it's just not there. And don't get me wrong, the staff definitely looks great. Just the weight of the staff didn't work. I mean, if they included more gears, then it would have been a perfect set. So I'm gonna give Kolta, I'm going to say, let's go with an 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. It's 2 points off because the staff is just way too heavy. It's not just a little too heavy, it's way too heavy. So it's definitely pulling the entire gear system down. So 2 points off for that. But don't get me wrong, Kulta is an awesome looking villain. You gotta respect the designers for that. And so yeah, a great set all in all, and this whole set I believe gets a 9 out of 10. All in all. So please, from all the Bionicle sets, this is definitely one you have to look at. And if you want Toa to fight Skull Grinder with, I'm saying get this set plus 1 or 2 Toa, maybe like add Onua or Tahu. Tahu, yeah, it was on the instruction manual. So this set plus Tahu was great. But yeah, that's I think this set is it's one of LEGO's most successful, or one of LEGO's successful sets. It's a very well done set. Every part of it, I love it, and every part of it is great. So 9 out of 10, and yeah, it's good. Good value. Big set, 2 figures, 1 big, 1 small, and they're both pretty darn looking good. Yeah, pretty darn looking good figures. So yeah, alright. I have ran out of things to say, and this video has been dragging on a little too long, so I guess it's time to end it here. So, if you've enjoyed this video, then hit the like button. If you didn't, then hit the dislike button. Like or dislike, anything will help with the channel. And that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel for more, because more content are being delivered on the way. And yes, so talk to you in the next one. Have a great day, whatever the time of day you're watching this in, and we'll see you on the next one. Talk to you again very soon.